Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another reading. Once again, I have left my nice microphone upstairs, so we're just getting the phone's sound. But listening to the last video, not too bad at all. I had kind of forgotten how sort of like good the quality is, actually. So, for today, I'm getting the urge to read about sort of like our calling, your calling. That's it. That's all I've got. So let's just go. And we're gonna start with the Citadel deck by Fen Inkwright. Okay, spirit, deities, ancestors, cosmos. What would you have this collective of people who are being pulled to watch this reading, what would you have them know about their calling in this life that they've chosen to live here? Ooh, okay, do we want all three? All right, we do. Whoa! Oh, okay, we had a card fall down from another deck. Do we also want that card? Yes, we do. Okay, no more cards falling. All right, so we have the Hermit. About our calling, I mean, this makes sense in the way of us sort of paying attention, going inward, looking in at ourselves, being aware of ourselves, our inner workings, our inner world, the way that we are in this world, the way that things of this world affect us in these sort of spiritual kind of ways, which obviously stems from the way that we are affected, you know, physically and mentally, emotionally, right? It's all connected. Mind, body, spirit. I'm also going to add emotion in there. I'm hearing like, and emotion. Don't forget emotion. Emotion is so important. It is something sacred that we feel. So very much the message here, especially with the emotion of following your intuition, of seeing within yourself and knowing yourself well enough that you can follow your intuition towards the things that trigger you emotionally in beautiful ways, that spark light or add fuel to your own inner light. There's something for me, you know, as a singer, as an artist, a musician, you know, a creator, there's something so deeply fulfilling on all levels, but also emotionally, that comes from me making music, from me making art, but especially music, because that's the calling that I have, is music, is the storytelling through music, whether that's through the actual lyrics and telling a story, or it's through telling that story musically. And it can elicit some of the strongest emotions that I have experienced in this life. And I know with that, I know that this is sort of the holy path for me, the sacred path for me, because there's not, you know, film can do it, like the arts do it for me, and I think the arts do it for a lot of people, but there is some calling that is calling you no matter what it is, and you will feel deeply fulfilled in all ways when you are practicing this calling, emotionally, physically, mentally, Yeah. Okay. We have the botanist. Oh, that's so perfect, because the botanist is about legacy. When we think about botany and, people who work in greenhouses and things like that, they are constantly cultivating new, cultivars of plants to get the best thing that they want from it. And to do this, they must know these plants inside and out, right? You are the plant here. You are the legacy that you can create with what it is that you do. We have the catalyst, radical changes, and taking control. This is very appropriate, yes. This is coming to the deep understanding of ourselves, of yourself, of you knowing who you are at your deepest levels, the things that trigger those strong emotional, but also spiritual and physical and mental triggers, I want to say. That's not the right word. Reactions in you. Let this inner understanding of yourself allow that to come finally to this catalyst that allows you to propel yourself forward and do the thing that you were called to do. To make that art, to write that story, to become a doctor. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything is art. Everything is a calling, right? Yes. And the shepherd, celebration and family. I think through this, we had this card. Oh my goodness, was it the last message that we had? I can't remember. Last week we had this card. But through this, through understanding ourselves, just on an individual level, just understanding who you are and what it is that is your calling, cultivating this so that every iteration of the thing that you do becomes better and better and better, right? Practice doesn't make perfect, but practice does make you able to, it's like, I'll pull up singing again. Me having practiced so much and really honed my craft, I have all this technique under my belt. These are tools. The techniques are the tools, and I get to color it with the emotional, with the spiritual, with my body, and with the things that I'm thinking, the thoughts that I am thinking. This is complete understanding. And so when you, as an individual, completely understand what it is that you are in alignment with to be doing in this life, and you allow that to propel you forward, which, as a side note, doesn't mean you constantly have to be productive. No. It just means that you do your work. You do your art. You do the thing that you are called to. As you have that, as you allow your well of creativity or well of inspiration to be used up by you and then refilled by doing things that spark joy and pleasure and inspiration in you. And then once we get past that, once we are putting our thing out in the world, because everything that we do is not just for us, it's for everybody around us as well, right? Even if you do keep your calling secret, the way that it will affect you as a person will also affect other people. And here with the shepherd, this is talking about community, of this celebration. When you are following your path, your heart's calling, your soul's calling, you become such a... No, it is the message of the shepherd. Sorry, I was trying to... I was fighting my own brain. My own messages from spirit. You do become a shepherd of sorts when you allow yourself to fully be yourself. Because in that, like I just said, with how you affect other people around you, in being completely yourself, completely aligned. Like, look at the symmetry here, you know. You will inspire others. That light in you, hi baby, that light in you will light a fire in others. You become a catalyst for others as well, because they see this person is doing something that I can just look at them and I can see that they are radiating this immense internal spiritual light, because they are doing something that they are clearly so passionate about. So I feel like those of you who are listening to this message, this isn't something new for you. I feel like you do know what it is that is your calling. I don't feel like you are on the, you know, the starting footsteps on that path towards this. I feel like you have probably spent quite some time, you know, whether quietly or not, on your path already. Okay. Oh, I'm being again, me sort of like, oh no, I shouldn't say that, but like, it's in my head, it's repeating in my head, I need to say it. Being on your path like this, already knowing this is your path to victory. This is your path to joy and collective victory. Because again, we all affect each other. There is never a singular I in being a human, or even sort of like outside of that, being a living creature on this planet. We are supported by everything, and we support everything, right? Okay, let's get some more of When Women Had Wings tarot to keep the reading going, because I'm enjoying this vibe, and the Hermit came out, so I'm guessing that this deck just wants me to read from it tonight. It certainly is a deck that has a lot of magical imagery, so. Okay, what else do we need to know to keep ourselves in alignment, to make sure that our lights are shining bright? Whoop. We want that one? All right, get out of your damn head. Get out of your head. Stop ruminating on things that don't serve your purpose, that don't serve your calling. I know it is a very hard thing to do because, you know, I have anxiety. My head does spin on things. Actually, I think I have probably a little bit of OCD in the way that my head likes to continue thinking about things when I don't want to think about them. So I know what this is like. I know what sort of sleepless nights are like. You know, I had a bad bout of depression after I ended going to school for music, where my anxiety was so bad that I couldn't sleep at night. And so I was sleeping during the day, which was not good for me because I am somebody who definitely needs sunlight. I need vitamin D. So get out of your head so that you can be in this alignment, so that you can always be in your truth, in your heart, in your soul and spirit. It's interesting to me too, this blue and red, these opposing sort of colors. They're not the exact complementary color, but if you're just talking about primaries, you know, this is hot and this is cold. This is very much more grounded and rooted in, even though we're also talking about, you know, our inner light, the thing that's connected to spirit. It is taking in, it's reminding me of that meditative sort of practice a lot of pagans use, but I know a lot of other people use as well, but where you imagine that you're the tree, you're a tree, and you send your roots down to really ground in the earth, but you also send up your branches to bring in the light and here of the moon, this magical light, right? We're in the darkness here, but we are really seeing ourselves. We are really understanding ourselves. Instead of spending our time in this room, in this chamber here, we see this red window light, right? Instead of spending our time in this chamber, constantly running over how we could be more perfect, how we could do things better, why me being me is just not good enough for people. This has nothing to do with anything. And while, yes, it's true that there have always been creators who have not necessarily been appreciated in life, but only after death, was their, their art appreciated. I'm thinking specifically of Hans Schubert. But it doesn't matter, because as long as you are following your inner light, your inner calling, your highest calling, again, even if only the way you are as yourself in the world because you are following your calling, even if that is the only thing that ends up affecting others, that is a beautiful, valuable, in the biggest way that term is, in the most truthful way of that term, valuable. That is the most valuable thing you can do, not only for you in your own life, but for your family, for your friends, and it ripples out from there. We are all these beacons, these lights. Oh my goodness. Okay. I knew I was gonna, something was calling me. But we have the Six of Wands. This equals victory. When we allow ourselves not to dwell, we're going to cover this up because we want the victory. We are seeking the victory. And this here, oh God, we're having color theory tonight. We have the complementary color here. We have the opposite color of red here. We have this green coming in and canceling out that head spinning stuff, that self-doubt and sort of self-belittlement that sort of gets baked into all of us. And while I can understand a certain amount of being reminded of our sort of what's that, what's the word? It's not our fallibility. That is a good thing because we shouldn't be too full of hubris. However, what it is that we have is something to be celebrated for. Again, whether or not other people are celebrating us for it, we can celebrate ourselves. The spirits of this world and the cosmos will celebrate you. Your ancestors will celebrate you. Okay, so we are becoming, that's the other thing I wanted to say too, with the Nine of Swords, becoming more detached from things, which I don't know how it happened for me, but it happened. Maybe all the stress of, what has happened in my life in the last, 5 years-ish. I feel like I have come to this point where even the things that I am super excited about, I am not obsessing about them as much as I used to, or I would have. And the things that are icky, and I think it's because I've had some really major traumatic things happen, the things that could cause pain or any sort of discomfort in any way, dis-ease, those things also are not spinning as much in my head. I think you have also been through enough where there is more of this sort of detachment on the results of things coming in, because the results honestly don't matter. It's the process of doing the thing you are called to that is the point. That's the thing that alchemizes us. All right, Spirit, what else do you want us to know about this? Do you want, is this, no, it's just one card. Okay. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. This is something that requires, you know, a lot of work. And I feel like you're already at this point where you have put in the time and the effort and the focus of building your craft, building your understanding and knowledge of how to do what it is that you do. Again, you're no newbie at this. You are this hermit who has been on this path for a while, understanding yourself and allowing that light within you to fuel you, to keep going, to get all of these hammered out and getting better with each one, I'm feeling the urge to say congratulations, honestly, for having done so much work. You have done so much work. Like, congratulations. If you have never said that to yourself before, if you have never sat down and really thought about all of the hours that you have put into learning this craft, this calling that it is that you have, all of the hours that you have put into understanding yourself and how you can better do your craft, how you can reiterate and get better and better at it, right? And this is a hard one because this is one that I don't think of as often, but it has started to come up for me. But like the way in which your calling affects people, how you being fulfilled and joyful with the fact that you are doing the thing that you feel most enriched by, that you feel sort of like you are in the electric current of, you've come, you know, you see this and you just connect to that and you are in, you know, current with it, you are in flow with it. Have a minute to sit down and think about your relationships and how it is that your calling has affected your relationships and the way you are in your community. Because I think if you think about it and the way that people behave with you, you'll see that there is already, even if your calling hasn't sort of garnered widespread acknowledgement and celebration yet, it already has within the smaller groups around you. This is celebration. This is small community, right? I think that's the thing, honestly, that we forget a lot when it comes to, especially like the arts, because the arts, it's, you know, if you're going in school and things like that, the idea is that you're going to be on a world stage or something like that. You are going to pursue these very sort of like, you're either going to become a pop star or you're going to become a, you know, like a classical singer. Like I was looking, that's what I went to school for. You're going to follow these paths and that's the thing that you're going to do. But that's simply not sort of how humans kind of work. The best way to work is always locally. Like, how cool is it when you think of going to travel to a place? Don't you want to go to their pubs or their ballets or, you know, any sort of festival shows and performances and see what they're doing there? Not necessarily seeing a show that is put on an international stage. Don't you want to see the way that their community has shaped these artists that you're seeing in these local places. Don't you want to see that community reflected in those artists? You know? So it's very important to also acknowledge, not acknowledge, but like, what am I looking for here? Dig into your local community. That is just the most important thing. Being on the world stage is cool and all, but also the most impactful place that you can be is in your community, in your very local community. It's the difference between being a local blacksmith, you know, who, yes, there may be people from other villages and things and towns from around coming to them. But if this was not a local blacksmith and was a world-renowned blacksmith, then only kings and emperors could enjoy their wares. Not everybody, right? Or not something special that gets to be shared with everybody in a smaller community, right? I think that's way more impactful, more meaningful, more heart-centered, emotion-centered than okay, here it is. Then being a singer and doing a concert in a sports arena versus doing a concert in a small venue that maybe only has like tops 1,000 people. Something that's so much more intimate, something that is so much more able to allow for human connection between the people in the audience and the performer. And I'm not saying that there are not big shows that can be very impactful, but, you know, if I'm sitting up in the nosebleeds and having paid like way too much money for those seats and I can't really see the performer really and I'm just watching them on a screen, then what is happening there? Like, sure, I can appreciate that they're singing live, but there is something, we need more people who are able to see how important it is to serve your local communities. Not everybody's going to be on world stages, and that is totally fine. That is more than fine, because we need people in just these regions that make those regions special. It feeds into the regions. This is such an interesting, wonderful, like, we have this botanist sort of thing, you know, we have this greenery overtaking the, you know, bad thoughts of things, and just cultivating things, cultivating community, cultivating ourselves within community. Okay, let's get some last cards, because I feel like I've yapped for a bit, which I don't mind at all. Spirits can definitely speak through me. It's interesting, all the cards are mostly popping out, you know, face down, to have them be revealed. Yeah, I feel like there is a new, I'm getting the word starseed, and I know that that is, you know, something used in that particular community. I am getting the message that yes, this could be something that you have brought here to this life to do. There is this meaning there is an idea coming in for you to get to working on. This is allowing yourself to be that tree and be rooted in the ground with the skill that you have gained, and allowing yourself to grow up into and beneath the light of this idea. Let this idea grow into, let the light of this idea be the sunlight for this to grow, right? And I'm also getting a message here with her little wings there. doing this grows your wings bigger. You know, these are the wings that we have on in our spirit, in ourself, deep within ourself. And they can be huge because within ourself we can see, sometimes we can glimpse who it is we are. But when we actually do the actions, when we actually manifest the things that have come to us, these ideas that have come to us, we allow those wings to grow where people can see them. And people can acknowledge that light within you, can not only acknowledge but celebrate, and then also be inspired by that light, to also be fueled by that light. Ooh, okay, do we want these two cards? No, okay. Again, problems of large decks. Oh, beautiful. Okay, yeah. So we also have the Page of Pentacles here and the Eight of Cups. So this is sowing the seeds of love. This, again, we're sowing the seeds. We are understanding the things that it is that we can grow, right? The things that it is within us, these star seeds within us in order to grow. And sometimes that means leaving some behind. So there's always, excuse me, confirmation burp. There's always discernment that needs to be had. Because again, I'm seeing the, mirroring here, the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. That we are at this point where we understand ourselves well enough that some things, even though we have built up some stuff, perhaps finally we can understand ourselves deeply enough to know that this wasn't the path and I need to go searching for that new path. Right? So it's like me thinking that being an opera singer was what I wanted to do. But I very much recognize in myself now that even when I was young, I had these starseed ideas, right? I had these stories that needed to come through me. And if I had only focused on singing opera and performing in operas, then I couldn't have got to this place where now there are some big projects that I'm going to be embarking on that I will be able to really follow my intuition, to be able to get to put this into the ground and make it manifest. The seeds of love. Because our calling is love. That's the greatest thing that we do. That is the greatest thing that even animals do. That is the greatest thing that this earth does for us. This love. So we have to follow love. Okay, one final card. Well, hello. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I had just pulled out a card for myself yesterday, I believe, and this is what came out. So, okay. Happy news, because here's the thing. There may not have been a big enough audience for you up until now, okay? You have maybe done that pivot, but you've done all of this work. You are not a newbie. You are not somebody just starting out on your calling's path, right? You have put in some serious work, and you have created a serious amount of work already, okay? You are getting to the point where the money is going to come in. The financial support, the monetary support is going to come in. You know, we have 3 pentacles here. We have fire, we have water, you know, and we we have a bit of the air, but we're letting that go, right? We are becoming detached from our mind's proclivity to spin negative thoughts, because you know what? We know ourselves better than that. We know that we are victorious. We know that all the work that we have done, especially now in this wonderful time, wonderful and also horrible, but you know, it's always a double-edged sword, but this wonderful time of being able to be online. And I know I've talked so much about local community, and I think that is super important, 100%, yes. But we are also able to cultivate community online. We are also able to cultivate what it is that we need to in order to be abundant with the means that we are given, right? The money is coming in. You are getting to this abundant, luxurious place, and I am seeing, you know, and please don't take these things, because I know I tend to do this in my mind as well, but the things I'm going to say, the material things that are, you know, pleasurable for us, these are not sins. These are not things to have, you know, oh, well, I shouldn't be wanting these things, you know, I could put my money better to other things. Sure, but first things first, you take care of you. It's like the flight attendants telling you to put your mask on first before you put the mask on other people. You are going to be able to buy the beautiful clothing that you would like to be wearing, the clothing that fully expresses who you are inside, like who the spirit of you is, right? You are going to have these full wings that you've been growing, that you are able to fly with. You can see all of the work that you have done, and you can see how that affects everything too. And you are able to share that as well. But I'm very much getting the message of first things first, okay? You are getting your crown. You are getting your beautiful clothing. Basically your clothing of royalty. You are able to now unfurl your wings in this life, in this real tangible world. This is the Pentacles. This is our 3D world, right? So congratulations. I'm hearing that again. Congratulations. You have made it. You have spent the time doing all of this hard work to get to this point where you are going to be able to really sit in the power of you in this physical realm, no longer just in your head, but in this world. Beautiful. Thank you so very much for being here with me. And I hope this helps. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.